What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Salami Squad, round the world. The Meat Pack is in the building. It is your boy, Mike Rogers. Got Mike Richman in the cut. Got the man Slim Jimmy. More money news. What's happening, fellas?
How you doing?
We
We're
doing?
big chillin', brother. We just got done with that first week of the SPL games. And wow, dude, it's actually a hype weekend. Great little opening weekend. There was some great gameplay going on.
Not bad at all, bro. My boys, the J Drag. We'll get into it in a second. Go ahead. Tell me what's up.
Yeah, who are some winners we saw this week? Mike, what are some of these matchups looking
All
like?
right, so we're just going to start. SPL games are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They do 2 to 3 sets. So we're just going to start on Friday, and we're going to go right down the list of the games. So on Friday, opening game, we got the Tartarus Titans versus the Camelot Kings. And, boys, let's just be honest here. You know, game one, the Kings just smashed them, and that kind of ended up carrying through of this best-of-3 set. It kind of felt like the Titans were just very uncoordinated. They were not really playing like a team. They have 5 good players. Like, they're a pretty stacked roster. They just weren't really jiving like that. And then on the other side of that, the Camelot Kings, I mean, bro. I mean, big man Tings was frying in the mid lane with Colin. They ended up winning that first game 13-4 at the 26-minute mark. I mean, just quick work. I mean,
Big shout out Captain Twigg. That's my guy sliding around the jungle getting shit done.
Yeah, so that was the first game of
Kings.
this set. Second game of this set here, same story. I mean, Variety just dominated in the Suo lane with that Sun Wu. He was going against Benji's Guan Yu, and Guan Yu's hot pick right now in SPL. You're going to see a lot of that.
He's getting he just got a nerf actually, I think in the last update though. So I'm surprised he's still getting played in the SPL as he is, because those nerfs are actually nothing to be winking at, brother. I mean, Guan Yu just kind of got into like the more used territory, and then they kind of brought him back down. Still good damage and everything, but they made his healing a little worse. So definitely not as much support for the late game.
Yep, exactly. And that Guan Yu got fucked up this game. Kings ended up winning. Kings won this second game of this set 12-3. Again, pretty dominant. 26-minute mark. I mean, that's just 2-0. Great way to start your fucking SPL week 1. Shout out to Camelot Kings right there.
100%.
Yeah, big shout out to them, man.
So we're going to go ahead and get into the next game. We got the Leviathans versus the Bolts. And again, bro, I mean, the Bolts just kind of got fucking owned here. They were just playing way too reserved. Barracuda, the ADC for the Bolts, that's my boy. It's my favorite SPL player. Just couldn't really figure it out. It really seemed like they were kind of waiting around, trying to wait for the other team to make a mistake, and that is just the worst way to play Smite. You're not going to win games.
No, this is my favorite team
attack.
kind of going into this. You know, like you said, Barracuda's great. I like Lasbra in the jungle, Venanu in the mid, even awesome Jake. But, you know, they kind of just fell asleep at the wheel this game. Took too long to get what they needed to do, and by the time it was over. So, I mean, you know, good little split of a game right there between those two teams.
For sure. I mean, that game one, Shinto's Rajan in that mid lane literally just dominated Venenu's Scylla. Like, just absolutely ran him over. It was a terrible game from Awesome Jake as support, going 0-6 as a Ymir. I mean, we're talking about when you're that support, you got to get in there. You got to be that big meat shield. You got
you can't be dying early on that shit either. You say 0-6?
0-6 on that support.
Bro.
Leviathans won game 1, 16-4 at that 30-minute mark. We're going to move on to game 2 of this set.
Get that Ymir meat pack skin.
That'd be sick. You get a nice little Karl out there. But game 2 of this
jump
set,
stamp.
that would be sick as well.
That would be
Hit us
sick.
up, Smite, a high res.
What's
We
up, Smite?
appreciate you. Game 2, classic jungle snowball. Jungles ran the game early, and Phantom Circuit was just a farm machine. And then the mid and jungle for the Bolts ended up going 0-5, 0-4. I mean, just absolute dominant performance from the Leviathans, finishing the game at 28-minute mark, 19-5. I mean, just rolled them this entire set.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate for my Bolts, man. I still got them. We'll figure it out. Barracuda is going to
Way it goes. We're going
to carry.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and move on down to this next game. And we got the Jade Dragons versus the Oni Warriors. This was just another 2-game set here. And, you know, you kind of said it, Slim. The Jade Dragons got to be the hot favorite here right now.
I got my lights going, the Jade Green right now.
Yep.
My boy Fine OK. running the Jade Dragons. I don't want to say that, but I'm telling you, Alec Fonzo, bro, he's got the sauce. He could throw out whatever he wants in that solo lane. The dude's gonna pop off. He's gross. He's disgusting. He's slimy. He's nasty, dude. I don't know how to say it any different.
Yeah, I mean, the Dragons, Pantacat and Polar Bear Mike got out to an early lead in that duo lane, and it kind of just snowballed from there. I mean, it was a perfect game from their support. Polar Bear Mike playing Jingtian, going 11 assists, 17K damage mitigated. We're talking about just meat shield, blink in, use your ult, do your fucking job. Great support gameplay.
That's what's got to be done, though, when you're the support. You know, they got a job, stick to it. Some people trying to be showing out too much, and you just can't be doing that support. Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and get into game 2. Dragons ended up winning this one as well, closing out the set.
Only 2-0 set, I think, this week, actually. Is that correct? The only 2-0, I believe?
No, the first one we just said the Kings also went 2-0. But in the second game of the set here, the Dragons finished the game 19-9 at the 35-minute mark. And, boys, we got to talk about Hurrywind in this mid lane. He is the best mid laner right now, straight up. I mean, literally, Giannis masterclass, dealt 24K damage, doubled the opposing mid. I mean, teams are going to have to ban Giannis just from the Dragons so Hurrywind doesn't get it. I mean, there's too many powerful mages to try to take a couple off the board. It's going to be have to start honing in on specific bans, trying to take away key pieces from the other team. But, I mean, Hurrywind just smashed in the mid lane, boys.
Yeah, dude's just a man eater.
With the amount of mages that there are, like you said, bro, it's just like, I don't even know. Banning mages just seems like almost a waste of a ban because there's always someone else to fill in the slot. Like, I feel like you should take out, like, a Guardian or because there's a lot less of a variety and choice when you're taking those out, you know?
Yep. Yeah, 100% agree with you. I mean, I was expecting a way better show from the Oni Warriors here. I mean, this is the E United team. This is the Europe team. I mean, they got veterans, Cubo, Fred, Vote on the carry. I mean, these are dudes that have been the SPL just wrecking people, and they got tossed in this first game and this first set, bro. I mean, 0-2, got to pull back from that, and I think they will. So, a little week 1 troubles for them. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next set. We got the Bolts versus the Scarabs, and again, in this game 1, the Bolts won 10-1 at the 25-minute mark, and this is how the Bolts should have played their first set. Barracuda is the heart of that team at that ADC position. They got to let him eat, and that's what happened. I mean, this is overall just kind of a stinker from the Scarabs. You know, only 1 kill on the board, and that was from Layers in the jungle. Playing that set, got it, nice kill early game, looked like they were going to roll. Game just went the complete opposite way. I mean, the Bolts dominated here. Scarabs had a bad one.
Yeah, definitely the run, I think, right now. Or maybe not, but yeah, just kind of a sloppy game from them. Bolts looking good. Bolts on top. Go Bolts.
Yep. Going into this game 2 of this set, best of 3 again. Keep that in mind. Bolts won here again at the 26-minute mark. It was 10-10, though. So much closer game for the Scarabs here. They're starting to play together, but honestly just came down to that 20-minute team fight. And I'm honestly surprised Zatman for the Bolts didn't demolish with Danza here. Danza's the #1 ban pretty much in the SPL right now. He ended up getting that pick and didn't really didn't carry the game the way they needed to. Obviously, much closer game here, 10-10. Comes down to who gets the Fire Giant first, who gets that push. But, Bolts closed out this set here. Another 2-0 in this week 1 here.
Yeah, man, they're looking hot, baby. We're going to get it together.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
So we're going to go ahead and move on to this next set. We got the Jade Dragons again coming against the Camelot Kings. And let's remember, both of these teams were 2-0 going into this set. They won their sets straight out. So game 1, Dragons ended up winning 19-2 at 30-minute mark. And I kind of said it a little bit earlier, but this team's just stacked as fuck. Like, they're so
low-key, they got some weapons on their team, brother. Straight up.
Just big weapons. And like I said, I mean, the Kings went 2-0 on Friday. Big confidence going into this Saturday set against the Dragons. They kind of got put in their place a little bit here. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Dragons showing that muscle.
They got a squad, bro. They got a squad.
I'm not trying to, take it back to Final K, but just this season, dude, he's already 10-1, bro, in the solo. And I'm not, solo's not supposed to be popping off with kills like that, but to be 10-1 right now, I think that's pretty wet, and it shows. And obviously, he wasn't even more of an MVP status for that game. We were talking about the mid cleaning up, the jungle cleaning up. But I'm telling you, the fact that he's showing those stats already, the whole team's just encompassing some crazy stuff, looking like some Golden State
Good
2016
synergy going on right there.
For real. I mean, you said it. They're going to be the Golden State of the league this year. So
It
let's
could
go
be.
on to
They're
that
looking
game
good.
2 here. Dragons ended up winning again, closing out this set with another 2-0. They won the game 2 of this set, 31-10 at the 48-minute mark. So this was one of the longer games we saw all
Long
weekend.
game.
But again, boys, just masterclass from Hurrywind in that mid. He was playing Scylla this time, and he got out to a really good early game start. Great rotation.
Oh, watch out for the Scylla, brother.
Yes, and the other team tried to build tank to counteract that. Hurrywind went Obshard, Soul Reaver. Nope, there goes all your tanks. I mean, he was just shredding, bro. They closed out the set. I mean, J-Dragons are going to be something to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the strength of this team. For as good as Fine OK is, and the solo as good as Panda Cat is, as an ADC, Polar Bear Mike, I think the heart and soul of this team is going to be that Hurrywind in the middle. Be able to late game, be able to do that damage, have that burst, control these team fights. I mean, Scylla is probably the best mage in the game to secure an objective, Fire Giant, Fury, something like that, and just hold it down for this Dragons team right now.
Absolutely. I just keep bringing it back to Fine because I'm solo runner.
He's a beast, bro. He's a beast.
Dude, love Fine OK, but absolutely Hurrywind. They're all showing out for the team right now. I mean, there's not a bad one in the bunch, honestly. So
100% agree with you. So we're going to get to the last set of the whole weekend. And honestly, this was the best, most competitive set, in my opinion. We had the Scarabs versus the Valkyries. This was the only 3-game set of the whole weekend. And within this set, it was 78 kills. I mean, these boys were just dropping bodies. I mean, from a viewer standpoint, this is what you want to see. You want to see a lot of kills.
Yeah.
So let's get into
the first game. They have 49.
Yep. So first game, Valks ended up taking away. It was 16-10 at the 30-minute mark. And we got to talk about Johnny running this jungle with that Loki, bro.
Yeah.
Crusher, Hydra, Heartseeker, just
Loki's a problem now,
so
dude.
hard
8
on
kills,
Loki.
man.
And, you
Loki's
just
back
walk
in the
in with
meta.
that 2, slice that dagger back and forth, and you just take advantage. Shout out iRaffer. Their support was playing Sobek. 41K damage mitigated in 30 minutes. I mean, that's incredible numbers right there.
Yeah, that's insane, actually.
So, yeah, Valks ended up taking away the W in game 1. We're going to move on to game 2. And we saw a great adjustment from the Scarabs here. And they kind of dominated this game 2, winning 25-9 again at the 36-minute mark. Layers in the jungle got Tsukiyomi. Turned it on, brother, okay? And then Oberonic in the mid lane taking lessons from Hurrywind. Pick that Giannis. I mean, just being able to globally move, global ult, it's just huge advantage pick, and he does dummy damage. But honestly, I just gave a shout out to iRaffer for game 1. He kind of threw game 2. I'm not going to lie here, in my opinion. He went Kefri. Obviously, when you play Kefri, meat shield, all the CC in the world.
Right.
Just wasn't really hitting his
saving
abilities.
people with your ult, bro. You got to be playing the role.
Wasn't doing what he needed to do, in my opinion, and the damage wasn't coming through from the ADC in the mid to support that. I mean, this was a dominating game from the Scarabs, 25-9 W after a loss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think the big factor in those games, too, or that game, was those support play. I mean, the Kefri from iRafer, but Imbroud's Sobek there for that game was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The damage mitigating all that, just doing that big support role. I mean, held it down for that game, too.
Yep. So we're getting into game 3, and I said it a couple seconds ago. Scarabs made an adjustment for that game 2, and they carried through to this game 3, and they kind of rolled them, boys. 14-2 at the 29-minute mark. The only 2 kills here were Johnny with Jungle Ratatasker. 2 quick early kills. But besides that, I mean, just completely dominated every lane, all objectives. Just got the job done.
That's what you like to see, though. You like to see the adjustments being made. That's a sign of a really good team, being able to come back on that and then make the adjustments necessary to really pull on that W. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, we saw Zatman, between Zatman and Solo and Layers. I mean, they didn't die once, and I mean, lower kill game for sure. But again, Imbroud's support there on the Kuzumbo was just nasty as well. I mean, that was a solid, like you said, big adjustment. Came out and just handled business in that game 3, locked that set down.
just handled business. I mean, shout out to the Camelot, to the Scarabs, the Solar Scarabs. Started out the weekend 0-2, got a big W Sunday, final set of the weekend. So let's just real quickly, boys, let's recap. Let's talk about our personal favorites
boys too.
And our favorite players. So obviously, I gotta roll with the hot team right now. I'm really digging the Jade Dragons with that hurry win. He's the MVP of this week 1 to me, man. I mean, just shredding in the mid lane, and there was no answer for him on any other team. No one could do anything against that.
No, I definitely would agree. I mean, he's definitely. I mean, for as good as that team is, him being the MVP of this weekend so far for sure. But that whole team is playing incredible. I still got to rock with my Bolts right now a little bit. I like my boy Lasbro in the jungle for sure. I like Barracuda.
Love Barracuda.
That Jade Dragons team is looking insane, man. Whirlwind is going to be an issue, brother.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, bro. I hate to like copy Richie right here, but yeah, I'm with the Jade Dragons all the way. I've been watching Final K. Most of the time I've been playing Smite, dude. I've been taking all my tips and tricks from him. So, I mean, big shout out to Final K. If I can find a way for him to see this video, I'm going to do it, dude. Shout out Final K. I'll be watching all them solos. I'll be taking my notes. I'm going to be doing the damn thing. And we going to go from gold to Grand Masters this season when we're playing, baby. Let's go.
Fair enough. So, yeah, I mean, I see the Scarabs right now as kind of the dark horse team. Jade Dragons, obviously, favorites. I'm excited to get in some week 2 action here, see some different matchups from these teams. It's also going to be super interesting to see how the bands develop week after week.
I want to actually hit y'all with some of that before we get out of here. I want to hit y'all with some of these band pick stats. Looking at some notes right here I wrote down. So as a total, there's 52 gods that were played over this weekend, 45 unique gods that were banned. The top bans were Athena and Tiamat. Though I think those are both understandable. Athena just getting her buff, coming out crazy. The damage now with the taunt, and Tiamat just being kind of freshly in the game is still a little OP right now. Big stun lock with the 2 and all that. She's really looking good. And the top overall pick here, believe it or not, was actually on her in this in this weekend.
Really,
he was picked 8 times between all these games, and I mean. When I thought of this first rollout of the season 8, I know it's been a lot of Cupid, I know it's been a lot of Apollo so far, but seeing this on her in the SPL,
it's an insta kill with the ult, and he's got a leap. I mean, what more do you want?
Quick, the leap and everything. I mean, you get the ult back really quick. The autos hit hard. I mean, it is very good god. It showed effective this weekend.
He's got a nice reliable stun too. I mean, if he throws that pillar up, he can stun you literally wherever you want. And if you're in the jungle when you're facing him, there's walls all around you. He hits you with that too, and you're in the wall. You're stunned for like a second and a half, bro. And then he's popping off on you.
So then between Sobek, Guan Yu, Janice, and Wukong were the next top 4 picked, which I mean, I think all those picks are understandable. Guys that we're seeing in our games a lot, even though that's down low in the Silver Boys. But Guan Yu also doubled down as the second most picked god. So I mean, that's looking good. Other than that, I mean, those were the picks in the bands. Beside experience and the stat sheet wise, the Dragons absolutely dominated every category this week. They had the highest average player kill, player damage, most fury kills, fire giant kills. They just handled business this weekend, so they came out on top, man. It was a fun little weekend of some Smite. I think that being said, get ready for week 2, baby. Go Olympus Bolts. Get the fuck out of here.
Perfect.